When most men talk, women feel nothing. They speak to be liked, to be understood, to be accepted. But their bodies stay cold. Their eyes wander. Their minds disconnect. Because real seduction doesn't happen through explanation. It happens when your silence pulls her closer than your words ever could. When the air changes. When her breath shifts. This video will show you how to use conversation like a weapon, not to impress her, but to make her want you. You'll learn 6 seductive conversation triggers, each one rooted in Machiavellian power, that make her feel something she can't explain, but wants to experience. Once you master this, you'll never need to chase, because she'll already be moving toward you, pulled by something she can't explain. And by the time her mind catches up, her body will already have made the decision. Let's begin. The first key that matters is subtle. You don't chase her attention. You let her mind chase a fantasy. Before you touch her body, you must haunt her imagination. Seduction never begins with the obvious. It begins in shadows, in the silence between your words, where her mind starts to drift and her pulse starts to climb, and she doesn't even know why. Most men hand everything over. They try to be charming, clear, direct. They explain too much, hoping to win her approval. But desire doesn't grow in clarity. It grows in the unknown, in the moment when she's not sure if you're teasing her, warning her, or undressing her with your mind. That uncertainty? That's where the game begins. Try this line. Ever felt like there's a version of you that only comes out around the right kind of danger? Then stop. Let it hang. Let the pause thicken. Let her stare. Not because she knows what to say, but because now she's wondering what you saw in her that made you ask that. As Machiavelli might say, reveal only enough to awaken her curiosity, then retreat and let it chase you. Because now she's imagining things about herself she never dared admit. And you're the man who just opened that door. Don't fall into the common trap of explaining what you meant. Don't clarify, don't soften it. Don't fill the silence. If she asks what you meant, just smile and say, "You tell me." Here's your next move. Watch her eyes. Does she lean in? Does she hesitate? Does she smile like she's hiding something? If she plays with her necklace or shifts her legs, you've already moved the conversation to her body without touching a thing. You're not trying to impress. You're giving her a cliffhanger she'll replay tonight, alone, in the dark, wondering what would have happened if she leaned closer. And this is only the first ignition. Once her mind starts to wander, you don't soften, you provoke. The second key is contradiction, a well-placed disagreement that doesn't push her away, but pulls her closer. This is where most men fail. They speak before they're seen. They try to arouse before they even exist in her mind. But high-level seduction never starts with words. It starts with presence, stillness, eye contact, and silence so thick it vibrates through her chest. Before you speak, look at her like she's already undressed in your imagination, but like you're not even sure if she deserves it yet. It's not about staring. It's about sending a signal. I'm not just here. I'm aware of everything, including the way your body shifts when I focus on you. Then, when the silence feels charged, you drop the spark. Try this line. Low voice, no rush. There's something about the way you look at me. Makes me wonder what you're not saying. Her body will answer before her mouth does. Because you're not just talking. You're reading her. And women crave to be read more than they crave to be kissed. As a philosopher of power would say, if her body speaks louder than her words, only the man who listens with silence will hear the truth. Never make this common mistake. Touching too soon. Physical contact without tension is forgettable. Seduction isn't built through hands. It's built through charged distance. Your next move. Start noticing the micro-reactions. How she plays with her hair when you pause. How she bites her lip when you don't respond right away. Don't rush. Let the tension cook her from the inside. And when she starts leaning in, that's when the game has truly begun. Now that the spark is alive, the third key is intimacy. Not physical, but emotional. Ask the kind of question that no other man dares to ask. That's how you make her feel known and undone. Attraction isn't built on approval. It's built on recognition. The moment someone sees the part of you that you hide from the world and doesn't flinch. Most men try to paint her as a princess. High-value men mirror the part of her that's dangerous, impulsive, reckless. Because once you reflect the storm she tries to suppress, you become the only one who can handle it. Try this. You strike me as someone who seems calm, but probably makes very impulsive decisions when no one's watching. Watch how she reacts. A smile, a raised brow, a moment of truth. That's the crack. That's the entry point into the version of her that she only reveals in dim lighting and locked rooms. Machiavelli might have whispered, "Reveal not your darkness until you've first illuminated hers." Never make this common mistake, complimenting her light. She hears that every day. She's beautiful, she's smart, she's kind. That doesn't create desire. That creates predictability. Here's how you execute it. Let her confess her edge, without judging. And when she tests if you'll retreat, lean in further. Say, "I like the idea of seeing that side of you, but not everyone deserves it, right?" Now she's wondering if you do, and that's how you place yourself in her imagination, right where it gets hot. We're just getting started. The fourth key flips the game. You stop offering energy and let her reach for it. When she feels like she's chasing something just out of reach, her desire becomes personal. You're not just trying to make her laugh. You're not trying to be liked. You're building a container where she feels safe enough to say things she's never said and wild enough to want more of it. Most men go physical too soon because they think desire starts with the body. But if you want her begging in her thoughts before you ever touch her skin, you need to mentally disrobe her first. And that begins with how you look at her. Hold the eye contact a little longer than usual. Let your eyes drop, not to her body, but to her lips. Then back to her eyes. And then smile like you know something she doesn't. Now layer it with a question she doesn't expect. What part of you do people underestimate the most? She'll pause. She might give you a surface answer, but you're not listening to her words. You're watching how her tone changes. When she speaks about the part of her that's never been seen, she softens. She reveals. She leans in. As a philosopher of power might say, the woman who undresses her soul before her body becomes yours long before the bedroom. And this is where you take the lead, slowly, not in terms of desire, but energetically. Mirror her. Lower your tone. Ask follow-up questions like, "Why do you think they missed that?" Or, "Has anyone ever told you the opposite?" Don't react like most men. Don't rush. Don't interrupt. Let her feel like she's finally being seen. Make sure you don't repeat this usual error. Jumping to physical compliments. She's used to being told she's sexy. But when you highlight something psychological, like her curiosity, her control, her chaos, you shift the entire dynamic. Here's how to execute it. Once she opens up emotionally, say something like, "It's dangerous how easy you are to talk to." Then pause. Let her feel it. What you just planted isn't a compliment. It's an invitation to step into a version of herself that's more raw, more real, and less filtered. The version that doesn't care what happens next, because now she just wants to be around you longer. And that's when the tension escalates. Not with a move, but with a mood. By now, she's hooked, but not yet surrendered. The fifth key is rhythm. Slow it down. Control the pace. Make her feel the contrast between calm and chaos, without ever raising your voice. A weak man flatters. A powerful man disturbs her balance. He doesn't say what she expects. He says what no one else dares to say, and wraps it in just enough charm to keep her guessing. Because a compliment that doesn't confuse her won't arouse her. You don't want her feeling appreciated. You want her feeling seen and unsettled. Here's how. Start by observing something hidden, then hit it with a twist. Try this. There's something dangerous about how calm you are, like you're used to getting away with more than people realize. Now stop. Don't smile. Don't explain. Just hold the eye contact. Watch her blink. Shift. Breathe slower. You just placed her in a paradox, and paradox is where desire thrives. She doesn't know if you admire her, fear her, or want to tame her. But she knows you're not like the others, because you're not performing, you're penetrating. Machiavelli might have said it this way: the woman who feels slightly disarmed is already under your influence. That compliment isn't about words, it's about control. You're showing her, I see the version of you you hide, and I'm not intimidated. That's what flips her inner switch. Follow up with something like, so, when do people usually realize you're not as innocent as you look? Then lean back. Let her qualify herself. She might smirk, tease, push back. Perfect. She's now trying to show you who she really is. And once a woman starts proving herself to you, the game is already won. Here's your next move. Only offer these compliments when your energy is composed and slow. No excitement, no thirst, just curious control. Because the man who sees through her isn't the one she forgets. It's the one she obsesses over when the lights go out and her guard is down. One mistake you must avoid: complimenting like a fan. Don't talk about her eyes, her dress, her smile. You're not trying to impress. You're establishing psychological dominance. And finally, the moment she thinks she figured you out, disappear into the silence. The sixth and most powerful key is absence. Not to punish, but to let the fantasy mature in her body without a word. At the end of it all, what makes her come to you isn't your effort. It's not your compliments. It's not even your looks. It's the space you create and the way you own it. Most men try to lure her in with plans, with approval, with promises of comfort and safety. But she's not drawn to safety. She's drawn to possibility, to the unspoken sense that being near you will unlock something she hasn't felt before. That's why the most seductive men don't chase. They invite, subtly, quietly, irresistibly. They speak like this: I don't know if I should be saying this, but I feel like you'd either ruin me or calm something in me no one else has touched. Then stop. Say nothing more. Let that thought sit in her skin. Let her wonder, what does he see in me that I haven't even discovered? Because that's the paradox. You're not offering a date. You're offering a portal into something dangerous and unforgettable. And when a woman senses she's standing in front of a man who could devour her soul but chooses not to, she steps in. Not because you asked, but because her curiosity becomes unbearable. Machiavelli would have whispered, power lies not in pursuit, but in what others imagine they'll experience when they reach you. You are the experience. You are the story she tells herself when she's alone. And the less you explain, the more her body writes the narrative for you. Here's your final shift. The next time you feel tension rising in a conversation, don't break it. Don't fill the silence. Just say calmly, let's not pretend this feels normal. And let her sit in that electricity. Because if she's still there after that line, she's already yours. Don't fall into this common trap of inviting her with expectation. Never push, never rush. You're not trying to get anything. You're offering a doorway. The right one walks through it. You made it to the end, and that alone puts you ahead of 99% of men. Seduction was never about the words. It's about the gravity you carry when you enter the room. It's not how clever you sound. It's how silent you remain, while she loses composure. That's where most men crumble. They try to be liked. They try to make her comfortable. But a woman doesn't fantasize about comfort. She fantasizes about the unknown, about the man who doesn't flinch, who sees through her smiles, who doesn't need her approval to feel certain of himself. She wants to look into your eyes and feel the thrill of surrender, not because you asked for it, but because your presence made it inevitable. So remember this: speak less. Hold your gaze longer. Watch her reactions, not her words. And when the silence starts to burn, don't break it. Let it expand. Let her feel the pull. Let her imagination go places her body hasn't dared yet. Because in that moment, when she's unsure, unguarded, and slightly undone, her body makes the decision her mouth would never admit. That's how the night begins. That's how unforgettable men are remembered. And that's how kings move, not by chasing, but by becoming the place she wants to be devoured. Now go create that space, and let her fall into the fire she thought she could control. If this opened your eyes, and you're serious about becoming the man who's in full control of his life, my book is now available. The Undeniable Man, Built to be Chosen. It's a strategic guide for men who want to attract, lead, and dominate in their love life and beyond. Whether you're single or in a relationship, no fluff, no tricks, just pure, powerful strategy that will set you apart from 99% of men, and that you will actually use every day. The link is in the description. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep your thoughts in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember these lessons, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share it with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.